Kaiju number 8 season 2 on the horizon. Some of y'all might have already forgotten what went down. If you're lazy like me, don't have time to rewatch, or just want a dopamine max with a quick recap, fear not. Your boy Ruudey is here with an episode by episode recap, so you can jump straight into season 2. So this starts off with a cool action scene which introduces us to the division. Ashiro, a really pretty kudere girl. Up to this point, you're probably thinking that she's the MC, but nope, this guy is the MC. Introducing Kefka. Boro is basically a cleaner who cleans up the giant mess left behind. Turns out Kefka is childhood friends with kudere girl, and he has a childhood dream of blasting kaijus together with the pretty kudere girl. We're also introduced to white hair boy, I'm just gonna call him Nagi, and he also wants to blast the kaijus. After Bro is done working, they get attacked by some kaiju. Kefka does the protect thing and tries to save his new co-worker, but he fails because he's like dirty and out of shape, and he ends up getting saved by the newcomer, Nagi. They end up getting hospitalized and Bro gets deep-throated by some fly kaiju, but can never catch a break, can he? After being deep-throated, he basically gains the ability to transform into a kaiju. Does this sound familiar? Childhood friend, rival, transforming, never giving up. I'm just gonna call him Esther Jaeger. Bro got caught in 4K and has to make a run for it. His kohai Nagi tags along. The third div is on his ass, but another kaiju appears from out of nowhere. So Esther Jaeger, being the MC that he is, checks it out and throws an overhand right to save some go. The kaiju has a hell of a chin, so he gets up after eating a clean overhand. Bro decides to end it by doing a sendo and launches him into the air with an uppercut. Kudere investigates, finds out that the girl was saved by a kaiju. Very sussy indeed. Time skip 3 months later, Bro is still at large. Both of them are shortlisted to join the defense force, so they go for a test. We are introduced to Tsundere Lolly Brat in need of correction. What a mouthful. I'm just gonna call her Tiblink. We are also introduced to the rest of the dudes who got shortlisted. Sassy Esther Jaeger hands Tiblink the much needed correction and proceeds on to take the physical test. Bro bombs it cause he's old. They start glazing the applicants and shit. Remember the first episode where we see kudere girl pull off human stunts? As it turns out, it's due to the suits, which basically gives you kaiju-like powers. The applicants have to put them on for a test. So this kaiju suit basically syncs your body, and a higher score basically means you can utilize it better. It's like a power gauge for humans. The test runners start glazing Tiblink as she is a generational talent. Sassy Esther Jaeger is measured using a different skill. More on this later. But for this skill, he's basically the weakest. So for this part of the test, they have to kill the kaiju that the third division previously captured. What could go wrong? The test starts, Tiblink blazes through it and starts flexing. Can someone please correct her again? Nagi and Sassy Esther Jaeger stick together because they are bros and basically does what the average Overwatch player with no aim does. Switch to support. They do a decent job and it's all going well until a kaiju comes from out of nowhere and Bro is left with a handicap. The test administrators are about to pull him out, but Sassy Esther Jaeger remembers that he's the protect, and with a flashback, he decides to target out. Nagi also decides to help his senpai as he's the side character. Tiblink basically has Hex and she smokes everything. All goes well, the test is over, episode is done. Until Mushroom Man shows up from out of nowhere and hands out the much needed correction. He also revives all the dead kaiju. You get a Tiblink flashback and she basically has daddy issues or something. Using the power of flashbacks, she starts fighting back but gets smacked around cause she's not the MC. Tiblink is about to die when Sassy Esther Jaeger shows up from out of nowhere. Face tanks the laser. Tiblink starts feeling the wrist effects. Remember how I talked about Esther Jaeger being measured on a different skill? So it's revealed the power skill that he's measured on, and Bud is basically like Sukuna. Bro vaporizes the kaiju with an overhand. Tiblink creams her pants due to the wrist and collapse. Everyone evacuates and they go to the hospital. Tiny Eyes, the vice captain, shows up. I haven't really said much about the vice captain as his role is pretty small, but he gets a lot more screen time later on and questions Tiblink. Tiblink wants to keep the secret, so she tries to claim the credit. It is also revealed that there are other kaijus capable of transforming. So all the notable characters passed. Sassy Esther Jaeger passes, but it's basically on probation or something. Lolly starts to feel the effects of the wrist. It is also revealed that Tiny Eyes is feeling sussed out. So he passes Sassy Esther Jaeger in order to keep tabs on it. Tiblink, Nagi, and Sassy Esther Jaeger go on a coffee date. But it's really going to end up in prison if he keeps rizzing Tiblink like this. Tiblink explains that the Japanese military industrial complex uses dead kaiju to make weapons for humans. So Sassy Esther Jaeger is at risk of being harvested. We get a training scene and it turns out Nagi here is Mr. Potential as his power levels are increasing really fast. The Yankee guy also decides to make Nagi his rival. So they head back to the barracks and it's revealed to the rest of the guys that Kudere and Sassy Esther Jaeger are childhood friends. Comedic stuff follows. Sassy Esther Jaeger is hard at work studying the kaiju as he wants to be helpful. Tiny Eyes shows up and starts telling him about the risk of this job, and out of nowhere they get activated for their first mission. So they all get deployed. The new recruits get glazed once again. Sassy Esther Jaeger tries to be cool but gets fraud checked since he's not in kaiju form. Tiblink tries to flex but ends up falling for Sassy Esther Jaeger's wrist. But it's seriously gonna end up in prison. Sassy Esther Jaeger is useless in non-kaiju form, so he decides to help by studying the kaiju.
I studied, bro.
Sassy finds the weak spots, so now basically everyone knows what to do. We get to see the strength of Kudere, and yeah, she basically has max power. Tiny Eyes vice captain flexes. It all goes well until Mushroom Man appears from out of nowhere and ambushes Nagi and Yankee. Nagi and Yankee try to farm some aura, but they get smacked around, even after the flashback power up, since they are not the main character. They are about to die until Sassy Esta Jaeger comes from out of nowhere to save the day. Sassy Esta Jaeger's MC aura is too much for Mushroom Man, and Mushroom Man gets overpowered. Sassy throws an uppercut to the body and finishes it off with an overhand right. Mushroom Man is about to die, but the other members of 3rd Division interrupt, giving Mushroom Man time to recover. Sassy gets caught by Tiny Eyes and they are about to have a throwdown. Tiny Eyes and Sassy start throwing hands. Sassy is about to win, but he obviously doesn't want to kill his vice captain, so he throws an overhand right aimed at a knife instead of the vice captain. Sassy escapes and Kabling feels the effects of Riz and starts mouthing the usual Sundari things. Oi. There he goes again, rizzing up a minor. He's actually going to end up in prison, mark my words. So the 3rd Division gets more data on the humanoid kaijus. Mushroom Man hijacks a car and kills an innocent salaryman. The whole squad is back in the hospital to recover. They throw a party after everyone is discharged, and it is revealed that Blue Hair over here is basically the owner of this anime's equivalent to Lockheed Martin. So I'm just gonna refer to him as Lockheed from now on. Lockheed goes for a toilet break and meets the chef. Chef Ojima. Turns out Lockheed here has daddy issues as well. Sassy gets his well-deserved promotion. Great, this guy just had to say that, right? Mark my words, someone is gonna get killed. Sassy walks in on Tiny Eyes training arc. All is going well until Tomato Man shows up from out of nowhere and is about to initiate an airborne attack on the 3rd Division base. Tiny Eyes is getting Sassy, but there's no time for that as the base gets nuked by the airborne kaiju. Tiny Eyes shows fear for the first time and starts getting to work. Basically, he's gonna solo Tomato Man and the rest of 3rd Division is gonna fight the rest of the kaijus. Sassy Esta Jaeger does what he's good at and starts to assist everyone. Turns out, the flying kaiju's weakness are back shots. Lockheed and GSDF guy are having difficulties until Kabling comes from out of nowhere and one-shots the kaiju with a newly acquired toy. Kabling pulls a stock and one-shots another kaiju. Tiny Eyes' hands are full as he tries to solo the Tomato Man. He's about to win until Tomato Man transforms from out of nowhere, shifting his core to avoid death. Tiny Eyes pisses his pants. Oh yeah, what did I say, bitches? He did! Oh wait, he's not dead? No, never mind. So Tiny Eyes continues to get toyed around until he gets a flashback. Basically, bro's fighting style is useless in the current age until he met Kudere who knows how to utilize him. Tiny Eyes realizes he's not the MC and flashbacks don't increase his power levels as a result. He's about to die once again, and in order to farm auras, Sassy Esta Jaeger is about to transform in front of everyone. But Kudere shows up from out of nowhere and cuts my boy Sassy Esta Jaeger from all the auras. Suit has some sort of battery and Tiny Eyes here is running kind of low. Fear not, Kabling is here to assist. With the three of them working together, it all goes well and they defeat the kaiju. Video's over. Psych! And one final attempt to fuck over the humans. Tomato Man here gathers all the kaiju to make one giant suicide bomb. Time is running out, so Sassy decides to reveal that he is the imposter and sendals the bomb into space, saving everyone and also farming a shit ton of aura. But his relationship with Tabling gets leaked, so he gets arrested for being a Didier blood. See, saw it coming. Bro is gonna end up in prison sooner or later. So bro can't expose his true identity to the rest of Division 3, as there's a high chance that he gets harvested if it happens. So he gets arrested for being a Didier blood. Everyone starts to recall the good shit Sassy Esta Jaeger has done, and they all say that they're gonna save him. Tabling pleads with her daddy.
No, daddy, you baka! I'm actually legal in Japan.
It is also mentioned that the remnants of the 3rd Division are going to be scattered around, as look at their base, it's completely fucked. Before prosecuting Sassy Esta Jaeger for trying to pull a Didi on his daughter, he wants to test out my boy, so they settle on a 1v1. Turns out, Daddy Lolly here is the OG aura farmer, and he's one of the few that can actually control this particular kaiju weapon. Sassy's getting fucked until the Deep Throat kaiju decides to take over. Now that Deep Throat kaiju is in control, Daddy Lolly starts getting corrected. Sassy Esta Jaeger is basically too fucking strong and breaks the skill. As Deep Throat is about to commit to a finishing blow, Sassy is able to regain control after he fantasizes about Kudere. Looks like Tabling here is shit out of luck. After gaining control, he's able to stop himself by punching himself, saving everyone in the process. Now that the test is over, the bigwigs are ready to debate on whether to harvest Sassy Esta Jaeger or to keep him alive. A number of them want to harvest him to make weapons. Kudere gives a speech, Daddy Lolly decides to keep him around. Okay, season's over. Until Mushroom Man shows up from out of nowhere. Okay, this time he's just chilling in his room, alone, sipping Johnny Walker, and reveals that he wants Sassy Esta Jaeger's power back, setting up for the next season. Okay, that brings us to the end of the episode by episode summary. This is my first summary, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't roast me too hard, please. Overall, this show is pretty decent. The animation is top tier and it was just really fun to watch. I'm excited for season 2, so let me know what y'all think. And if you guys want to see a review, don't forget to like and sub, and see you true Ruudey Patriots in the next one.